If you have been in front of the camera and you were forced to say something, you can probably relate to that feeling of being uncomfortable, right? It just feels different. A lot of people describe their first experience as the lack of air in their lungs and that feeling of panic, you know? But then eventually when the recording starts and you are finally able to squeeze out some words somehow, it just sounds so differently. You have zero confidence in what you're talking about and your voice can be shaky. Obviously, level of on-camera confidence is going to differ from one person to another. Some of us might do better and some of us might do worse at the beginning. But the point is to increase your personal level of camera confidence and do better at it. In this video, I'm going to share some tips that the best content creators give to people who are shy on camera, and also some things that I experienced throughout my creative journey and that helped me personally. Before I start with this video, I would really appreciate if you guys can like this video, comment and subscribe to the channel. I post content and tips related to self-growth and content creation, so if you want to learn more about that and how to do it more properly, please follow me, and I post weekly about that. Now, let's start with the video. First of all, let's determine where that fear of being in front of the camera comes from. Well, it is a well-known fact that we are too worried about other people's opinion on what we have to do. And we are just worried what other people might think about us being in front of the camera, you know, talking to the camera, and later they'll see us on the internet and basically, you know, maybe leave a negative comment about that, right? Almost in every field for the majority of us, it's just easier to stay inside of our shells. Because the moment we want to try something new, especially publicly, we need to get out of this shell. We basically need to enter the new environment. And that's where that feeling of being uncomfortable comes from. That's where that fear comes from. As soon as we're leaving our shell, we are leaving our safe zone, our safe territory, and we are getting to unknown lands. That being said, let me give you the advice of probably one of the best content creators. If you follow Gary Vee content, listen carefully to what he has to say. He almost always mentioned to forget about what other people have to say. Focus on yourself and do the stuff you want to do. Look, it is your personal life. You're not living it for others, you're living it for yourself. So if you want to try something new or do something new, feel free to do that. And if someone else will not like it, no one forces them to watch it. Even if you're not doing your best at the beginning and you're not performing at the level you want to, no one literally cares. You know, in the worst case, you will receive some comments from people who literally don't have anything else to do but to leave a negative comment that, you know, you suck, you're doing not good, etc, etc. But what do you think happens next? Do you think those people go through their day 24 hours and just think how much you suck? Well, no one literally cares. And that was a big issue for myself before I started to create content. You know, I really wanted to start producing content on Instagram, on YouTube, I wanted to start my newsletter, but I was worried that people will not like it and will think something stupid about that. And then, just like that, I realized that it's my own life, and if I want to do that, I can do that. And if someone will not like it, well, they're not forced to watch it. I'm not forcing anyone, right? So that was the first and probably the most important principle of changing your mindset. Remember, it is your own journey, and if you're thinking that someone else stops you from creating content, that's wrong. Alright, here's another thing. Even if you get all your fear and somehow tackle it inside and, you know, try to talk in front of the camera, you're probably gonna sound like a robot, right? And that is clearly not a goal. You want to sound like a human and you want to be human because you are one. You basically need to try talking from your heart, from your mind, just from inside. And how you can do that? Just relax. Before you appear in front of the camera, take a couple of deep breaths, like that. And remember, no one cares. People have their own lives, they'll see your content, maybe they'll like it, maybe they'll not like it, and then they'll move on. It is your creative journey, you don't need to stress about it. Try to get to the comfortable position and, you know, relax a little bit. Here's one more quick tip for you, and it involves holding a drink. Well, I have a water bottle, but you can hold a mug, right? This idea was first introduced to me by Ali Abdallah, and he basically mentioned that whenever he holds a mug, you know, as I said, I have a water bottle, but you know, you can hold a mug with a tea or a coffee, it feels more relaxed, it feels like a conversation that you're having with someone. So if you sit in front of the camera and talk a lot in your videos, you can basically, as I said, grab something and sit with it and, you know, have kind of a dialogue with the camera. So we went through the mindset part and the relaxation part, how you can actually start talking in front of the camera, how you can make it easier for you. Here's such a simple trick that you might not heard about. Snap your fingers. You know, you will snap your fingers first and then you will start talking in front of the camera. Try to do it once and then during the second video, the third video, etc. By doing that, over time you will link that motion and that sound of snapping your fingers to being in front of the camera and to starting to talk in front of the camera. And then when you start recording and struggling to say something in front of the camera, you can just snap your fingers and it will activate that kind of memory inside of your brain that, okay, I snapped my fingers, I need to start talking now, I'm being in front of the camera. I'm using the snap of my fingers myself almost every time before I start recording. It's super helpful, super easy to implement, so I would definitely recommend you to try it. The next thing, even if you're a subject matter expert in the thing you're talking about, Do not go freestyle. I would highly recommend you to prepare some script prior to the video. It doesn't have to be word to word, but it can be at least high-level bullet list of what you have to say. That way you don't need to come up with things live in your head, and you can focus structure on the video and actually focus on what you are saying. Here's me, by the way, sitting in Starbucks and typing a script for this video. And also, it is completely your choice on how detailed you want your script to be. There are some creators like Ali Abdal who kinda create more high-level bullet list, but also there are content creators like MKBHD who create a word-by-word script and basically read from it, you know? And his situation is a little different because he has a lot of b-rolls in his video, so during those b-rolls he can just read from that script, right? But if you're just starting and you haven't developed a system yet, I would highly recommend you to do just a higher level bullet list and just structure your video. Trust me, it actually makes it so much easier when you actually know what you have to say during the video and you don't need to come up with those ideas during the recording. And here is the last tip for you. When you are recording yourself, and especially if you're recording on the front camera, it's tempting to look at the screen rather than the camera lens, right? And this is understandable, especially for the beginning content creators. You want to see how you look in front of the camera and how you perform. But remember, the viewer will see it a different way. They'll watch your video and they'll see that you're not making an eye contact with them. And it feels less genuine when you're not making an eye contact with people. That being said, focus hard on looking at the camera lens, even if you cannot see yourself. Kinda think about it as an investment in the future. You're not looking at the screen right now, but you are making eye contact with the future viewers. But in case you're really struggling with that, there are AI tools who can literally make your eyes look into the camera if you're not looking at it. Let me show you an example. And as you can see, there's Captions app right here that literally has an AI feature that will make your eyes look into the camera. It's kinda incredible how it works and how much AI progressed, through the years. And there you have it, guys. These were a couple of useful tips and tricks that you can use to battle that fear of being in front of the camera. I know it can be hard, especially at the beginning, but you need to get out of your shell and explore those unknown territories. Listen, if there's one thing that you can take from this video, let it be mindset. Remember, it is your own journey and you're doing it for yourself at the end of the day. Don't be worried what other people have to say, believe in yourself, and over the time you'll be impressed of how much you progress. Alright, thank you so much guys for being here. Check out my other videos and I'll see you in the next one.